like I said, a lot of people don't know this. An atomic explosion is not necessarily radiated. Even it's atoms, atomic explosion. But see, what happens is I got to make these because there's a lot of things that I don't remember them until like my mind chooses to remember. So I have to take advantage while I remember. But like I said, during an atomic explosion at the epicenter, it vaporizes the uranium. So at first, an atomic explosion doesn't, I'm talking about in the fraction of a second. Like at that second, once it's detonated, it's not necessarily a radioactive bomb until it vaporizes the uranium. So if you've got 1,000-pound uranium core, it takes those 1,000-pound uranium core. I'm just doing it for instance. That it's 1,000-pound uranium core. It vaporizes that uranium, which a lot of people don't know, that once you vaporize metal, which uranium is a radioactive metal, when you vaporize, see, you can do forced fusion with pressure, kind of like how diamonds get made underground. Diamonds get made underground because it forces it together. Well, that's the same thing that happens with uranium at the core of an atomic explosion. The uranium gets vaporized and infused with the explosion itself. So every atom that is inside of, and you can check it yourself, but like I said, I'm not going to post this. I just got to keep this for like memorandum. You feel me? Like memory while I have it still. Because there was a study done that if you take regular atoms, like nitrogen, I call them atoms, some people call them molecules, it's an atom. A regular nitrogen atom, just one nitrogen atom, and you vaporize iron or steel or any magnetic metal, you can vaporize that metal and create atoms, molecules of that metal. Once you vaporize that metal, you can infuse vaporized metals, which become atoms, tiny, tiny, tiny atoms. You can infuse that with nitrogen and create a magnetic molecule, an atom. A molecule is one, but an atom consists of one or two or more. So you take one molecule of nitrogen and one molecule of any vaporized magnetic steel, iron, anything that's magnetic, and you can infuse those molecules together and create a magnetically reactive atom. And see, this is where it comes into play, to where you take the same things that it takes to create, because you don't have to create a 50 megaton explosion. You can create atomic explosions the size of a penny, which they do all the time. That's how you study EMPs. You don't study an EMP by detonated, well, even though that's how we found out about EMPs the first time, is once we detonated it, the equipment that we were using was being destroyed. The equipment that was closer to it was being destroyed. But either way, like I said, if you take strong enough magnets, or we'll get back to, because magnets are a way, once you infuse vaporized steel, which becomes metal molecules, into those atoms, once you detonate the micro explosion and you have strong magnets like in a ball around it, because you infused metal into those molecules to create magnetic atoms, what happens is when the pressure goes to explode, the magnets cut on and shove it back down. And you keep repeating that process. So it's like, and it's almost a sustainable nuclear reaction. And anytime you have a sustainable nuclear reaction, you can create a sustainable EMP. But, because that's the new technology and that we've been working on for a minute. Sustainable EMPs rather than one that's just boom, gone. So, now, what I was going to say is that, like I said, a lot of people don't really understand, because what you see on Google and what you see on a lot of people don't know that during an atomic bomb, The uranium is vaporized and infused with every atom. It takes a 1,000-pound uranium core and turns it into 60 trillion atoms and spreads that shit out 20 miles. And it only takes you only got to breathe one atom that is infused with vaporized uranium. And the explosion itself is what infuses those atoms together and spreads out and falls. Like there's a lot that like I said, everybody that called me a liar, by the time this is over with, you're going to look like a dumb demon bitch. I promise you.